Hi and welcome. It's Marjorie Saulson with today's Facebook Live entitled Master Your Message. I was at a Toastmaster meeting, and that's one of the ways I upgrade my own skills is going to Toastmasters. And this gal gave a speech, and honest to goodness, I couldn't figure out what in the world she was talking about. It was like this stream of consciousness, and she strung together a whole bunch of different pieces of information that I really had no clue what she really wanted to say and what her point was. And in Toastmasters, you're given a certain length of time for different types of talks, and her talk length was 5 to 7 minutes. So she went yammering on and on and on. And the last minute or so, she totally shifted to another topic. And in Toastmasters, when you've reached your minimum time, a little green light goes on. And then when you have a minute to go, there's an amber light. And when you're supposed to stop, there's a red light. And if you don't stop, after 20 seconds, somebody rings a bell. Well, somebody rang a bell on her in the middle of a sentence, and she tried to keep talking, and he kept ringing the bell. And she finally stopped. And I realized, this is an issue that some people have. Just not being sure what to say and kind of just going on and on and on in a way that really doesn't get a point across to the people who are listening. And they're wondering, when is he gonna stop already? Or what is this person trying to say? I don't get it. So I wanted to share with you a couple of thoughts. If you've ever done any work about figuring out who your ideal audience is, or your niche or niche, if you prefer the French pronunciation, they're always talking about, and we are always talking about, focusing on a particular group of people. And one of my mottos about that is the fortune is in the focus. And the same applies to your message. In order to get your point across, you've got to have a specific point. I mean, maybe that sounds very elementary, but it's true. If you want to share information, you really have to have a clear idea of what specifically you want to share. Now, the general outline, by the way, for a talk is to introduce the talk with some type of attention-grabbing something. Mention that you're going to share 3 important things about whatever they are. Mention the 3 things, making it very clear this is the first thing, and the second thing, and the third thing. In other words, you're giving your audience kind of an oral outline of what you're saying, and then you conclude by saying, and so I shared with you point 1, 2, and 3, and then you wind up with some great conclusion. The point is, to use that word again, is you really need to know what points you want to make when you are sharing information. If you don't clear those up in your head ahead of time, then you are just going to babble. And you're not going to feel comfortable babbling, and the people who are listening to you are not going to feel comfortable with you babbling, and you will not come across as an authority in your field or an expert. And by the way, that's one of the reasons why I've been running this week my fun and free online challenge, Effortless Elevator Pitch, because I happen to think that the most important message in your business, period, is how you answer that question. So, what do you do? Or if you run into somebody you haven't seen in a long time, so what are you up to lately? You need to be able to answer that question in a very pointed and credible way. And in the challenge, we go over all the pieces, and then at the end, we put them all together, and there are daily prizes and a grand prize on Sunday. So it's a lot of fun. So if you'd like to join us, you can do that at effortlesspitch.com, EFFORTLESSPITCH.com. And I'm only spelling it out because I keep mucking up the spelling of pitch, P-I-T-C-H, myself. For some reason, I have trouble with that word. So I'd love to have you join us if you're listening to this video while it's still running. We're having a lot of fun with it. And the point to finish this pointed talk is that when you want to share information, Think ahead of time, the major points you want to share so that you can do them clearly and concisely and come across as the authority and expert in your field that you really are. This is Marjorie Saulson, and thank you for listening. You can find out more information about what I do at my website, vibrantvocalpower.com. And I look forward to being of more service to you. Toodaloo.